Lakers Nation, what is going on? So we have some really interesting Lakers news to talk about today because Klay Thompson is once again being connected to the Lakers, and this time there is an actual 4-team trade framework that could send Klay Thompson to Los Angeles. And honestly, Lakers fans, I think this is one of those trades where the name Klay Thompson immediately gets people excited, but when you actually look at what the Lakers would be giving up and what Klay could realistically bring to this team, there is a lot more to discuss. Because yes, Klay Thompson is still Klay Thompson. But he is not the same player we watched dominate with Golden State years ago. So would I actually make this trade if I were the Lakers? Let's break it all down. According to the Heavy.com article I'm using for this video, the Lakers are still looking for another major addition, and Klay Thompson has emerged as one of the players potentially on their radar. And this is especially interesting because Klay is a Los Angeles native, and according to NBA Insider reporting, he would welcome a return home. That part definitely matters. Klay reportedly had interest in the Lakers back in 2024 before ultimately choosing Dallas because of the opportunity to play alongside Luka Doncic. Well, now things are completely different. Klay is entering the final season of his contract with Dallas. The Mavericks are reportedly exploring his trade market. And the Lakers are looking for more shooting around Luka Doncic. That combination is exactly why this rumor makes sense. Now here is where this proposed trade gets really interesting. The Lakers would receive Klay Thompson and a 2031 second-round pick coming from Portland. Dallas would receive Vit Krejci and a 2031 second-round pick from the Lakers. Portland would receive Jared Vanderbilt and Moritz Wagner. And Brooklyn would receive Robert Williams. So basically, this is not the type of trade where the Lakers are giving Dallas multiple first-round picks or sacrificing one of their biggest remaining assets. Instead, the Lakers would be using a complicated 4-team structure to bring Klay to Los Angeles while moving Vanderbilt out of the rotation. And personally, that is what makes this proposal interesting to me. Because if the Lakers are going to bring Klay Thompson to Los Angeles, I do not want them paying a massive price for a 36-year-old player who is entering the final year of his contract. Klay's name is obviously bigger than his current production. And that's not disrespect to Klay. This man is one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. 4 championships. 5 All-Star selections. An absolutely ridiculous playoff resume. And he has spent his entire career proving that he can change a game without needing the ball in his hands every possession. That is exactly what makes him intriguing next to Luka Doncic. Think about the spacing. Luka gets the ball. Klay is standing on the perimeter. Defenders can't just leave him. If they help off Klay, Luka can find him. If they stay attached to Klay, Luka has more room to operate. And that is probably the biggest reason I would be interested in this move. The Lakers need shooting around Luka. And Klay doesn't need to dominate the basketball to be effective. That is important. Because this Lakers team is built around Luka having the ball in his hands. You don't necessarily need another player who wants 15 to 20 shots every night. You need guys who can punish defenses when Luka creates an advantage. And Klay can still provide that. But here's where I would pump the brakes. Because we cannot talk about Klay Thompson like it's 2016. We're talking about a 36-year-old veteran who has dealt with major injuries throughout his career and whose game has obviously changed. Recent reporting has pointed out that Klay averaged 11.7 points per game last season while shooting 38.3% from 3. And that is the part Lakers fans need to understand. The Lakers wouldn't be trading for prime Klay Thompson. They would be trading for veteran Klay Thompson. And those are two completely different things. You're not expecting him to walk into Los Angeles and suddenly become a 20-point-per-game scorer. That's not what I would want from him anyway. I would want Klay to be a specialist. Give me the shooting. Give me the veteran experience. Give me the ability to move without the basketball. Give me someone who understands what it takes to play in massive playoff games. And most importantly, give me someone who can make defenses pay when Luka gets doubled. That is where I think this trade could actually work. Now let's talk about Jared Vanderbilt. Because this is where I think Lakers fans are going to be split. Vanderbilt brings something Klay doesn't. Defense. Energy. Length. And versatility. When healthy, he can be one of the Lakers' better defensive pieces. But the problem is that the Lakers have to ask themselves what their biggest weakness is. If the answer is shooting and offensive spacing around Luka, then Klay makes sense. If the answer is perimeter defense and athleticism, then losing Vanderbilt becomes much more complicated. Personally, I think the Lakers need to prioritize offense around Luka. But I don't think they should completely abandon defense either. That's why I would only do this trade if the Lakers already believe they have enough defensive personnel to replace what Vanderbilt gives them. And there is another reason I like this particular framework. The Lakers wouldn't be giving up a major young centerpiece. They wouldn't be sacrificing Luka. They wouldn't be giving up Austin Reeves. And they wouldn't be throwing away another massive first-round asset just to get Klay. That matters. Because at this stage of the Lakers' roster construction, I don't think Rob Pelinka should be making blockbuster trades just for the sake of making blockbuster trades. The move has to make sense around Luka. And Klay actually does make sense stylistically. But there is one giant question. Why would Dallas do this? And that's where the four-team structure becomes important. Dallas is reportedly looking to move Klay and trim salary. So if the Mavericks can get an expiring or cheaper piece while moving off Klay's roughly $17.5 million salary, they have a reason to participate. The Lakers get the player they want. Dallas gets financial flexibility. Portland gets frontcourt depth. And Brooklyn gets Robert Williams. Everybody has a reason to say yes. That's the beauty of this type of hypothetical trade. It's not just Lakers get Klay. Everybody else gets nothing. There is a basketball and financial logic behind each part. Now here's my final opinion. If this exact trade were available, I would seriously consider doing it. But I would not call it an automatic yes. I'd call it a calculated gamble. Because you're betting that Klay's shooting, experience, and fit next to Luka are more valuable to the Lakers than Vanderbilt's defense and versatility. And I think that's a reasonable gamble. Especially if the Lakers are able to acquire Klay without giving up another premium asset. The biggest thing for me is the price. If Dallas suddenly asks the Lakers for a first-round pick, multiple valuable seconds, or one of the Lakers' core players, I'm out. I'm not doing that. Klay is 36. He's entering the final year of his contract. And the Lakers should not overpay for a veteran who could potentially become a free agent next summer. But if the Lakers can get him through a creative trade like this, without sacrificing major draft capital, then I'm interested. Because imagine Luka Doncic with Klay Thompson spotting up around him. That is a combination I would absolutely want to see. And let's be honest. Klay returning home to Los Angeles would also be one of the coolest storylines in the NBA. His father Michael Thompson has such a deep connection to Los Angeles. Klay grew up around the city. He has been connected to the Lakers for years. And now with Luka running the Lakers' offense, the fit makes more sense than it did before. So no. I'm not saying Klay Thompson is going to come to Los Angeles and become the old Golden State Klay. That's unrealistic. What I'm saying is that the Lakers don't need him to be that player. They need him to be a knockdown shooter. A veteran presence. A low-maintenance offensive weapon. And somebody who can make defenses pay when Luka creates open looks. If he can do that, then I think Klay could actually be a really interesting addition to this Lakers roster. But I want to know what you guys think. Would you make this 4-team trade to bring Klay Thompson back home to Los Angeles? Or would you keep Jared Vanderbilt and look for a younger shooter instead? Because for me, this is one of those trades where the player makes sense. But the price has to be right. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications. Because we're going to keep you updated on all the latest Lakers news, rumors and potential trades. Lakers Nation. I'll see you in the next one.